NNPP, which has former governor of Kano State, Rabi Kwakwanso, as presidential candidate. I am now joined by the Secretary of the Board of Trustees of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Galadima. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's start with your relationship with some of your longtime political allies, and this time, President Buhari. A lot of people would want to know why you parted ways with him. What really went wrong?
Well, I hope you know that this is politics. Once you are a principled man, definitely you would not succumb to any type of double dealing. And I think I have been proved right that I left the general and for a good cause. And when he's even in power, had I left him before getting into power, I could have been called several names. But I left when he is in a position to do whatever he wishes with a stroke of pen in this country. So I want to say that we parted ways on the basis of principles. And I stand by that, and everything I have said about him had come to pass, and Nigerians are my witness.
All right, so many have also argued that you stopped supporting him because he did not patronize you, and in spite of your lack of support for him, he was re-elected in 2019.
Well, he wasn't elected in 2019. You know that better. He used his position as president of the country and helped himself. Because even before the election, he told the entire world when he was asked whether he could congratulate the person who wins the election. And he told the stunning world that he should congratulate himself because he has already won the election. And if you look at the issues before the court, when the presidential candidate of the PDP took him to the tribunal, you could have known that he was not qualified even to contest as a candidate in the elections that he declared himself the winner. So as far as I'm concerned, he knows and I know that he's just a usurper in the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
But then INEC declared him winner. PDP went to court to contest that election, and President Buhari still won in court.
Correct. Correct. Does anything done by INEC or the courts is the reality and the truth on the ground? We had to accept the judgment of the courts because we have no other place to go except to God. So God is the final arbiter, and I am convinced that Atiku Abubakar won that election, and it was taken away from him. Nobody can change that from me, only God. When I reach there and God tells me that, look, in reality, it was Buhari that won that election, not Atiku. But that is not the issue. Let's go into current contemporary issues for our country. Buhari is gone. We are praying for him such that
all right, so now
he concludes the remaining of his tenure safely and leaves the stage.
All right, now that you mentioned Atiku Abubakar, you supported Atiku in 2019, but now you're with Kwakwanso. Why didn't you stick with Atiku Abubakar?
No. What you didn't understand, and I have said that times over, that at that time, 2019, I led the team of reformed APC, a breakaway of the APC. And some of us joined the PDP, and we had an alliance with the PDP, and so that we could bring a credible government into Nigeria. And I believed that at that time, not Atiku, but any Nigerian would have been better than the present president. So I have not yet changed my mind. No, I never joined the PDP, as you mentioned. It's because we had an alliance, and I was made one of the spokesmen of the PDP.
All right, let's talk about your party now. As a chieftain of the New Nigeria People's Party, let's rate the party's chances in this coming election, especially in northern Nigeria.
I don't understand the question.
As a chieftain of the NNPP, I would like you to rate the party's chances in the coming election, especially in northern Nigeria.
You mean you have any doubt that NNPP would emerge victorious? Is there any doubt to that, that Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is the candidate to beat in this election of 2023?
You would have to tell Nigerians how.
Can't you read the handwriting on the wall? Look, let me tell you that Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is the candidate to beat for several reasons. First, he is the most experienced of all the candidates. Two, he is the most intelligent of all the candidates. Three, that he is the most educated of all the candidates. Four, that he has a record of performance while in public office that is not paralleled by any of the candidates that are today in the field. And I believe Nigerians like themselves. Having come out of this government, I don't think we can gamble again. We are looking for a person with the quality, with intellect, with the record of, with good health that can manage our affairs. The era of trial and error is gone. So we are looking for the best, and in Kwankwaso, we have the best. And to support him, he is the most popular candidate in this country today, because I believe that if there is a fair, transparent, and level playing ground in this election of 2023, Kwankwaso would emerge the winner because he can at least get 85% of the votes of northern Nigeria. That is our record. And we have made incursions into the south because we can take over Ebonyi, we can take over Akwa Ibom, we can take over Cross River, we can even take over Delta, we can take over Edo, we can take over Oyo, and in Lagos, only God knows who will win the election. So nothing stops Senator Kwankwaso from becoming the president of Nigeria except God. We have done our arithmetic, we have done our calculation as engineers, and we know that he's the person to beat.
NNPP, that your party has absorbed many defectors from the APC and PDP in Kano. So I'm asking, do you think this is enough for Kwankwaso to match other contestants like Tinubu, Atiku, and Peter Obi?
As far as Kano is concerned, forget about all the rhetorics of those charlatans that talk about Kano. Nobody can get 5% of the votes of Kano. And I challenge you, and if there is anybody that says that he can get 25% of the votes, let's place a gamble with him. So, as far as Kano is concerned, it's out of the question. And I appreciate that Nigerians associate Kano with Kwankwaso, because for a politician, you have to have a base. And if Kwankwaso has Kano as base, with over 6.9 million registered voters, and that is his starting point, it means that he can now poach all over the country and make up for the figure and become the president of Nigeria. Why should I reject a person with such a base as Kano and go for the unknown? politicians that have no base.
Okay, so taking a cue from your last point, can NNPP replicate Kwakwanso's popularity in Kano outside of that state?
Outside where?
Outside of Kano State. Can NNPP replicate Kwakwanso's popularity outside of Kano State?
Have you seen Kwankwaso in Lagos? I believe you are talking to me from Lagos.
Yes, I am.
Can you bring the film? Just bring that film that Kwankwaso went to Alabarago and bring the film, because I know, I saw your reporters of Kwankwaso's arrival at Ikorodu where he opened his office. And show me and compare with any candidate that has come to Lagos and gathered such a crowd.
Okay, now let's move on to some other discussions. Now, I'd like to know, why did your party treat Senator Shekarau so badly? Because you didn't concede positions to him until he left your party in anger. What actually went wrong?
No, Shekarau didn't leave our party in anger. I think he's got a better offer. You know, there is a Hausa saying, and I don't know how to describe it. Do one day on rumbunsa, ya san inda toka take kudi. Meaning that whoever set fire on his ban of ban means that he knows where he will sell the, what do you call it, toka, sell it. That is what Shekarau did. Look, for anybody to be given a ticket as of Kano Senatorial district in NNPP, you can lie on your bed without anything, and a certificate of return would be brought to you. And for such a person to forfeit this, definitely you find out he must have gotten more than what he could have earned as senator for 4 years, all the allowances for 4 years, all the egunjes for 4 years, and all the constituency projects for 4 years. If he hasn't got that, I don't think he could have thrown out that privilege. Nobody in Nigeria. And what we want to know, the promises made to him, were they fulfilled? That is what we would ask. But let's leave it. Time will tell.
All right. So
today in Kano, it is no more the issue of Professor Risqua. It is the Beavers machine that will count the votes. So nobody has the privilege to write figures. We of course know that Senator Kabiru Gaya went on the air to tell the world that he wants the BVC machine to be put aside because in his own constituency of Gaya, there is no network. And I want to use this opportunity to tell Nigerians that the Beavers machine does not need a network to transmit results, that it can automatically do that with a battery. Therefore, nobody should deceive Nigerians that the issue of network would stop the Beavers from sending results of the election. So, and this was why at a point they put so much pressure on government for either the INEC chairman to recapitulate or they remove him. Unfortunately, what they don't understand is that there is an ECOWAS protocol that Nigeria has signed, which says that in any election in West Africa, nobody will alter the law 6 months to the election. They never knew that because they don't understand will be in the National Assembly.
Let's talk about Peter Obi, who happens to be a huge factor in this election as he continues to gain so much popularity, especially among
Listen.
the youth.
Peter Obi is doing a great job. He's doing a great job for us. Just hold on. Peter Obi is poaching the Southeast from the PDP completely. So if you take away the Southeast from the PDP, you take away the South-South from the PDP, and you take away the North by Kwankwaso from the PDP. Where does PDP stand? They have no chance. In fact, the PDP is not on this ballot for this election. So as far as Peter Obi is concerned, he is doing a very, very good job for us.
All right, so...
Because it is what will propel Kwankwaso to be the president of Nigeria first ballot.
All right, so Kwankwaso wanted him as running mate before the coalition talk collapsed. Tell us what went wrong.
Well, I also want to say that I chaired that meeting. And what went wrong was simple. Every side wanted their candidate to be the presidential candidate and the other one to be vice. And we advised, and we are right. Had we agreed for Kwankwaso to be the presidential candidate and for Obi to be the running mate, it means that this election could have been over by now. But unfortunately, they didn't see what we have seen. Now, they are seeing it. They are now seeing it. So it is an unfortunate situation created by people who did not understand politics. So it is now, that is why this struggle and this war for us to win the election. If not, if the two had come together, I don't think there would have been any case of election in Nigeria in 2023. They could have been even declared before the election. But you know that as politicians, we will continue to talk to each other, any group, so that because INEC in its wisdom has already discovered through intelligence that there is likelihood that no candidate will win first ballot. But this is now. What they don't understand, INEC does not understand, is that all the three parties, the Labour Party, the PDP, and the APC, have reached their peak. They are coming down. It is only the NNPP that is gaining momentum to move forward. Therefore, we believe that by end of January, everybody in Nigeria would know who would be the winner of this election.
All right, so you mentioned the possibility of a runoff election in the presidential election. How prepared is NNPP?
No, I didn't say so. INEC said so. That is why they are making preparations.
All right, so
but
if
that
that
is also
happens,
a misplaced priority because it is our belief that we can win first ballot.
But then, if that happens, how prepared is your party?
Kwankwaso will come number one because he will have majority votes, and whosoever comes second, maybe with a spread, we will go for a rerun. This is why we don't even need 25% of 2/3 of the states, because at the end of the day, if the elections become inconclusive, it is now simple majority. And as the lion of the most populous section of this country, Kwankwaso becomes president.
You're supporting a northerner to succeed President Buhari, who is also from the north. I would like to have your position on zoning and rotation of power.
Maybe you don't even understand the name of our party. New Nigeria People's Party. That is the name. We are not talking of primordial sentiments, of religion, of tribe, of zone, of where one comes from. We are going for the best. And after all, let me close this matter once and for all. The Supreme Court has ruled that there is nothing in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that recognizes zoning, that the President of Nigeria can come from anywhere. And this was a decision handed over by the Supreme Court about 2 weeks ago when some people took Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to court that he violated the zoning principles of the PDP. And the Supreme Court held that the constitution of the PDP cannot override the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please, this issue of zoning should be removed from any any constitution of any political party. It has no place in our law.
Okay.
And let me say, South, what has it got to do with me? I am looking for a demand that will make Nigeria a better place for all Nigerians, not a tribal man. Is Buhari not from northern Nigeria? Is he not a Muslim like me? You can call me Hausa if you want, even though I'm Bade. Of what use is Buhari's presidency to the people of Katsina, where he comes from? Where even yesterday, people were abducted. Even yesterday, people were killed in the villages. Of what use? Let me tell you that if Nigerians will agree, I will suggest that we go back to the King of England to send a vassal to rule Nigeria so that things would be put in a better perspective.
All right, so would you then rule out the Constitution's position on federal character principle?
What does federal character principle say? I participated in the Constitution, in the Constituent Assembly of 1987, Constitutional Conference of 1994, in the National Conference, Jonathan's National Conference of 2014. I participated in that. What does the federal character principle say? Tell me, you.
It supports zoning and rotation of power.
So is the federal character principle bigger than the Constitution of Nigeria?
It's also in the Constitution.
Which one takes precedence?
You should tell me.
I said the Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled. Are you suggesting that you want to upturn the decision of the Supreme Court? Is that what you are telling me? Please, if you want to be president of Nigeria, be a Nigerian. Go and look for votes of other Nigerians to support you. You can't hide behind the issue of tribe. You can't hide behind the issues of religion. You can't hide the issue behind section. Go and look for other Nigerians, as we are doing, to make you become president.
All right, so you once heard
After all,
running. All right. Please go ahead.
You said?
Please go ahead. All right.
Hello?
You once had a running battle with INEC over election outcome. How will you rate the Constitution's readiness to deliver a credible 2023 general election?
We are running with INEC for?
You once had a running battle with INEC over election outcome. I would like you to rate the Commission's readiness to give us a credible election in 2023.
Well, thank God that this INEC this time has shown, for now, I can say that INEC is on the right path. What we wouldn't understand or we wouldn't know, because I'm not a soothsayer, is what INEC will do tomorrow. But so far, having conducted elections in Ekiti, having conducted elections in Oshun, it seems like INEC is improving. And with the use of the beavers, we hope that there would not be hanky-panky in the elections of 2023. And I will urge INEC to continue in this. And I will also use this opportunity to appeal to the chairman of INEC that no official of government should come to him and try to pressurize him that the president has said this or the president has said that. Should anybody come to him, let the chairman of INEC ask that person to ask the president to phone the chairman of INEC as to what he wants to do. And I will also want to use the same opportunity to appeal to the security agencies, especially the police and the soldiers, that they should never allow themselves to be used by partisan politicians in the name of Mr. President. If the president, as the commander-in-chief, wants to intervene in electoral matters, let him use his own mouth and tell the military commanders what he wants to do.
Welcome back. You're still watching Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. And now to our interview with the guest of the day. I am now joined by the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, who is also the spokesperson for the Presidential Campaign Council of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Keyamo, a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, and fellow of Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, is a lawyer, columnist and human rights activist. He began his legal career in 1993 at the Ganiu Fawayimi Chambers in Lagos before leaving to establish Festus Keyamo Chambers. In April 2018, Keyamo was appointed as the Director of Strategic Communications of the 2019 re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari. He was appointed the Minister of State for Niger Delta in 2019 before he was redeployed to the Ministry of Labor and Employment by President Muhammadu Buhari. Keyamo was named by the Legal Practitioners Privileges Committee in July 2017 as one of the outstanding Nigerian lawyers to be awarded the rank of SAN. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. You're a lawyer turned politician, or rather, let me say lawyer come politician. How are you balancing the act?
I'm a lawyer in politics.
So
I prefer to put it that way.
All right. Let's get to your party, the APC. Many Nigerians remain dissatisfied with the performance of the APC government. What do you think the administration has done differently to deserve to be returned to power in 2023?
Well, these are some of the narratives that at times I disagree with, because in a subliminal manner you have used the word many Nigerians. I hope by many Nigerians you don't mean majority of Nigerians. Yes, some Nigerians may be dissatisfied, especially the opposition, who know the truth, but they bury the truth because they want to push a particular narrative. But I can tell you that the situation we find ourselves today is basically about the same position we found ourselves in 2019. So I want you to realize that we have tested this narrative in 2019. This narrative of we have performed poorly, Nigerians are angry with us, we have also tested it in 2019. What happened? 15 million Nigerians were happy with us. 11 million Nigerians were not happy with us. That was the result of 2019. Because it's only the ballot box that can tell you how many Nigerians are happy with you, are giving you another chance to give them your services. So please, I want to say clearly that the narrative of majority of Nigerians, or using many Nigerians in the sense that majority of Nigerians want us out, is not correct. The only way we can test that is to go to the ballot box. So yes, there are tough situations we have passed through. Yes, there are difficult times we have passed through. Yes, we have tried to explain to Nigerians, not excuses. Explanation is different from excuses. We have tried to explain to Nigerians why we have excelled in the face of these difficult circumstances. Many Nigerians, and I dare say majority of Nigerians, have bought into that. They have accepted our explanation. And that is why, even in midterm elections, we won midterm elections. We won Kogi. Between the last election now, we won Kogi, we won Ekiti. And we won a few of Senatorial and House of Rep elections across the country. We lost a few too. But of course, that means, of course, that some Nigerians are listening to us. Some may not buy our explanations. In 2023, we are going to test it again at the polls to see just how many Nigerians are willing to give us a second chance. But I please disagree with you that it is virtually majority of Nigerians that do not accept, that think we have not done well. Many Nigerians also think we have done well.
In that regard, what then do you consider as the biggest achievement or the big achievements of the APC administration in core areas, especially security, infrastructure, and the economy?
I want to say that the biggest achievements of the APC government, and why the country should give us another chance again to continue, to build on the legacies of President Muhammadu Buhari, is that in the face of very difficult circumstances, in the face of lesser resources than our predecessors, we have more to show for so little that we earned. We have more to show in terms of infrastructural development. And even in areas like power, where perhaps the effects have not been felt fully, the foundation has been laid. And it is the next government that will see the benefit of what we have done in certain areas. For example, the Zungeru and Kashimbila, hydro power plants have been commissioned. That is going to bring about 4,000 megawatts back into the national grid. In the last 8 years, or 7 years plus, we have succeeded in bringing about 8,000 more megawatts into the national grid. The problem has also, of course, always been the issue of distribution. But before you address the issue of distribution, you have to also address the issue of power generation. So a lot has been done, even in the power sector, in terms of infrastructure that the next government will benefit from. Of course, the very obvious ones are what you are seeing, the rail, the roads, across the country. It has been tremendous. These infrastructural developments surpasses the 16 years of PDP before we took over. So imagine what we have achieved in 7.5 years in the face of dwindling resources. In the face of dwindling resources in the past 7.5 years. Imagine what we would have achieved or what we can achieve in 16 years if we surpassed PDP's achievement in terms of infrastructure. Tell me one rail line that was established in 16 years of PDP that was initiated, started, and completed. Even the only one they started, whilst they were in power in 16 years, which was the Abuja-Kaduna rail, they still could not finish it. Despite all the monies they earned from oil, it was President Buhari that came and also finished that. Imagine the second Niger bridge that was just an architectural, drawing on the table. For 16 years, President Buhari is a silent achiever. Just imagine that a monumental project like that, one of the most expensive he has done throughout his tenure, it's open today without fanfare, without trying to score a political point. In fact, he's even far away in America. Why he said, they should open it for use. No fanfare, no attempt to score a political point out of it. But that is the kind of person President Muhammadu Buhari is. There are so many achievements of this administration that Nigerians would see the benefit of. That Nigerians will begin to appreciate President Buhari once he exits power next year. It is countless. The number of roads, the number of infrastructure we have developed, that is one of the key areas that this president will be very proud of, this administration will be very proud of.
All right, maybe I should go by your choice of words, or maybe I should not. But then, many young people are still disenchanted with the APC administration. I would like to know, what is the party's message for young Nigerians?
Well, I don't know, the young people you are talking about, I see millions of them in our youth department of the APC. So this same narrative of young people are against the APC, I just don't think it's correct. Yes, some young people outside our party who are in opposition, because they don't know the trajectory of political development in Nigeria, they may express certain negative thoughts and expressions against us, really. But I want to say that if they take time to open up their minds and just listen to us, I just want them to listen to us to say, look, where we are coming from and where we find ourselves now is a massive improvement. There was a government for 16 years before we took over. If they sit down before you, I'm still willing to have a very decent debate before the election, maybe not now, but just before the elections, with some of them, some of the most credible, some of them who are, credible enough to sit down to talk with some of us. And I will say that the things they pride themselves on that happened under 16 years of the PDP, they were not exceptional achievements at all. Some will tell you that, they were the ones who introduced GSM. Please excuse me. GSM was a technological revolution across the world at that time when they came to power in 1999. Even the smallest, most poorest country in the world, they also adopted the GSM around that period of between 1999, 2000, and 2001.
So you said that. So you said that is not an
achievement. It was an exceptional achievement to Nigeria. It was a worldwide technological revolution happening. In fact, Nigeria came late to the party. Go and find out what happened. Nigeria came late to the party at that time. Now, they also tell you that they were the ones who founded EFCC. Excuse me, EFCC? EFCC was also a revolution happening around the world, because what happened was that the American government and the Western powers, they had this template called the Money Laundering Act, and they passed it around all their allies around the world at that period too. They passed it, they gave it to Kenya, they gave it to South Africa, they said, look, for you to be accepted in the Committee of Nations as serious to fight corruption, you have to adopt these laws, money laundering laws, anti-corruption laws. They just gave them a template. So we adopted those templates and formed the EFCC as a result of international demands at that time. It was not exceptional. It was not a brilliant idea by the PDP government. What again can they talk about? Let's talk about another innovation they talked about. They said there was debt forgiveness, that they wrote off our debt. I am sorry. Everybody should look at what they call the Jubilee 2000. It was a movement of poor countries across the world, in Africa, in Asia, in Latin America. They call it the Jubilee movement. The Jubilee movement was to put pressure on the Western world and all these financial institutions around the world to write off the debts of poor countries across the world. It was not an initiative of PDP. It was not an initiative of any PDP government or the government at that time. It was a movement, a Jubilee 2000 movement, by which the Paris Club and many of them responded and wrote off the debt.
Your principal, your reaction, talking about the Chatham House outing, where your principal delegated answering of questions to his team members. So I'm asking, was it right to have delegated answering of questions to other people?
Since it happened, but let me explain it thoroughly to Nigerians. When you go to Chatham House, you are not going to engage in a debate. You are not going to engage in an exercise where they want to test your oratorial skill, or they want to test how brilliant and how clever you are to answer questions. It is just how are you going to handle certain issues regarding policy issues and all that regarding your proposed government. Now, let me explain this. When you are asked questions at that level, you are expected to answer the question as president. What are you going to do as president? Not what are you going to do as candidates. Now, so when they ask you, Mr. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what are you going to do regarding ABC as president? You therefore need to respond as president. How do you respond? Those who have answered, those who have been making uninformed comments, they don't understand how government works. I am in cabinets. When an issue comes up in cabinets, the president is the last to speak. A leader, a good leader must hear the views of his lieutenants before he makes the last comment. So even when memos come before Mr. President, when suggestions or proposals come before Mr. President, do you think Mr. President takes his biro and then in a know-all fashion, he just minutes on it and gives directives? He doesn't. He will minute it to the minister in charge or the head of the agency to hear their comments. And in many cases, the chief of staff will now make an executive brief and then make his suggestion. And then the president makes his final decision. That is how government is run. So when you ask Asiwaju, for example, in Chatham House, what are you going to do about oil theft? The first thing he assumes is that he is president now. He wants to hear his lieutenants make comments on this. And guess what happened? I want you to go back to that tape. After they made those comments about catching those who are stealing the oil and all of that, what did Asiwaju say? He made the final comment, say, gentlemen, you have not even addressed the issue of the people who received the stolen items. That is presidential, because he's now making a final decision on it, that he thinks that we need to pay attention more to those who receive it, because there cannot be oil theft without the people receiving it. That is what he said in Chatham House. So he was acting as president. Now listen, I've heard all kinds of ignorant comments, I see them online, saying that, so when you are a medical student, for example, and you are asked to come and answer questions about how you are going to carry out an operation on a patient. You are going to call on that medical student to answer. You are comparing oranges and apples. Being a medical student and that scenario you have just mentioned is not the same as being president. Because if you are a medical student or a lawyer or a student of anything, you are asked questions, you are expected to answer it yourself. But as a professional, but the president is not a professional. I want to repeat it again. They can go and make fun of it and make memes out of it, but the president is not a professional. The president rather listens to professionals.
All right, but some person said it could have...
Because the president cannot be an expert in all areas. He cannot. He must listen to experts. And when he listens to experts, he must have the knowledge to make a final decision on after he listens to his experts.
All right, but some persons here said he could have given a bit of information about the topics before allowing some of his team members to answer, rather than just delegating answers to them directly.
That he should have let the public know. I don't understand that question.
That he should have given a bit of information about the questions asked, so that people can know, or Nigerians can see, that he truly understands these questions, rather than allowing his team members to answer those questions directly.
No, you don't understand what I said. You are just going back to making the mistake of what I said. The president must speak last. In council, let me tell you the danger of a president speaking first. Let me tell you the danger of a leader speaking first. The danger of a leader speaking first is that you intimidate your lieutenants. You intimidate your advisors. Go and look at the provision of the Constitution. People have been talking about delegating function under Section 148(1). No, I think they are even getting it wrong about delegating function. This is not about delegating function. I beg to disagree. People have been trying to, even my own, my people, on our side, they have been using delegation of function to justify it. I am not using Section 148(1) to justify. I am using Section 148(2) to say the president shall appoint advisors who will advise him on key issues. That exactly is what the president did. That is exactly what the candidate did. Because as candidate, he's asked to say what he will do as president. Let me tell you this. Short of saying that when they ask him a question about a particular subject, short of saying that, well, in dealing with this issue as president, I would love to listen to my advisors first. Short of saying so, he practically demonstrated it. It would have been easier for him to tell the public that, well, as president, to deal with this issue, I would love to listen to my lieutenants before taking a final decision. But he did not say so. He just practically demonstrated it. So when they ask you questions, I repeat again for the opt-in time, when they ask you questions in such a policy institute, they want you to answer the question or deal with it as if you were president. And that is what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu did.
All right. Related to that also, two of your colleagues in the Presidential Campaign Council have been accused of bullying the press by a media company. As a lawyer, what's your view on this?
Well, I beg to disagree, with that expression of bullying the press. Now, there are so many dimensions to this, and I just want to take some time to explain this before Nigerians. Now, what is going on, and I think in subsequent elections, this matter is going to come more into the public limelight, this issue of the conflict by which we shall judge our electoral process or not, is that we are moving away from a situation where the traditional media or the orthodox media held sway regarding the exclusivity to inform Nigerians or to reflect the views of Nigerians. That was the duty, that has always been the traditional duty of the press, that they are the guardians of the public conscience. They reflect the views of the generality of Nigerians. And so when they call you for a debate, they are supposed to reflect the views of Nigerians, and they're used to answer those questions for Nigerians to be satisfied. However, we are in a transitional period in terms of global communications, access to communication. Now, the traditional and orthodox media does not inclusive. The ground tone in all of this is that the traditional media, and I'm sorry I'm going to disappoint my friends like you too, like my friends in other media houses, I'm disappointing them, I apologize, is that they are fighting for their lives now. Why? Because they no longer hold the 4 aces. For me to reach Nigerians, for me to pass my message across, I need the traditional media, but they don't hold the 4 aces. I don't have to depend on the traditional media again, because communication is now open across. Technology has opened the space. Now, who is a journalist? Who's supposed to be the conscience of the nation? Before, it used to be that, traditionally in those days, we saw journalists in our heads as people who sitting down there and holding the microphone every morning and before the cameras. They were the custodian of that mandate of the people. However, everybody that owns a media, a handle now, a social media handle, is a journalist. I'm sorry to say it. Why? Because you have not pushed journalism to a point where it is a closed profession. Of course, it's a profession, but it is not a closed profession like law, like medicine, like engineering, where outsiders are not allowed to just come in, you read anything, and you just stand in front of a camera every morning, and then you say you are a journalist, and you say you are a conscience of the people. You are not. There's no professionalism again. There's no, can you report anybody? Do they have a regulatory body? Yes, there's a press council and all that, but yet, do they have the right to withdraw license from somebody now to say you can no longer appear before a camera in the next 10 years, like they can suspend a lawyer, or you can no longer disseminate information by any means again, you are suspended as a journalist. There's no avenue to do that. Therefore, anybody who can reach as many people as possible now with information is a journalist. So what then now gives that a particular station a moral high ground over other avenues by which we can reach Nigerians? What makes them the barometer? The barometer of testing whether somebody has responded to public inquiry. Because what they are saying is that, well, the narrative is that unless you come and talk through us, you have not respected the Nigerian people. And they have brought some commentators, some caricature commentators to push that narrative that they are disrespecting the Nigerian people. So those people you see in town hall meetings, are they disrespecting them? Is Ashiwaju disrespecting those people that are in town hall meetings? Even in a Twitter space now, I can open a Twitter space now, 20,000 people can join, 10,000 people can join, and they're all asking questions and I'm answering them. That is even more democratic than going to sit before one journalist who pretends to represent generality of Nigerians, whereas he has his own personal biases. He has his own personal biases. I can go on a Facebook page, live broadcast on a Facebook page now, and I get more viewership, more feedback from Nigerians than even a particular TV station. So please, nobody should push that before us again. That they are still the moral barometer by which we can test whether we have respected the Nigerian people or not. I am sorry. I apologize to my friends who are journalists, but I disagree. I disagree.
Honorable
That
Minister.
is why, especially, of course, when you know that those people who are pretending to represent the public conscience, they themselves have biases. And then you now want me to appear before them as arbiters. And while they pretend to be arbiters, every single day, they exercise what they call the tyranny of the microphone. What's the tyranny of the microphone and the camera? Because you have access to microphone and camera every morning, you make prejudicial comments, you pass judgment on my candidate, you abuse him, and tomorrow you now pretend to say you're an arbiter, I should come before you. I am sorry. I will not expose my candidate to such a hostile environment. I am sorry. You see, the fact that my candidate is running for office does not mean that I will not make him genuflect before every single Tom, Dick, and Harry for him to get votes. There is what they call dignity of human person. While my candidate should be respectful to Nigerians, my candidate should be extremely humble, but he will not genuflect before all Tom, Dick, and Harry because he wants to prove to Nigerians that he is respecting, his so-called respecting the Nigerian people. He has other means by which he wants to reach he can reach the Nigerian people. All
right. But then, Honorable Minister, I strongly do not agree with you that every person who is on social media is a journalist. But then that's a discussion for another day.
Now, Can I just say that what I mean by that is that when you stand before a camera every morning to disseminate information to Nigerians, 90% of them are not trained in the sense that they have a certificate in journalism. People who read any kind of thing these days can be employed by any TV station or radio station, and all of a sudden, because they have the means by which they disseminate information, they become journalists in quotes. The same thing too, those who use social media handles who disseminate information every morning, we have seen many of them who are arrested, who are either harassed, which I don't agree with, and all of a sudden everybody rises up to say, don't harass a journalist, in quotes. So the same situation, those people who appear before cameras every morning, who don't have a certificate in journalism, who disseminate information, is the same position those people who have social media handles who disseminate news every morning through their handles, is the same position they find themselves. They are all in the business of disseminating information to the Nigerian public. So long as I choose the means by which to disseminate that information, nobody can claim the moral high ground to say, I have to appear before that person or through that person to get my message to the Nigerian people. I'm sorry, that's my view.
All right, but then they are not journalists. All right, so let's leave that aside. You've repeatedly stressed that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is the man for the job. Why do you think is the man to beat in the 2023 presidential election?
Well, we have repeated this over and over, but we are not going to be tired of repeating it.
Absolutely.
That if you put all the leading candidates on a scale, and I say this not even because I am the spokesperson for the campaign council, and so my views are expected to be biased, but on an empirical basis, really, there is really nothing to say about the records of the other candidates that comes close to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. They try to run away from it, they try to dispute it, they try to run it down, but it is staring at them in their faces. His record in public office, his record as a Democrat, his record in building democratic institutions and being faithful to those democratic institutions is unrivaled, almost unrivaled in the history of our country. Look at the other candidates and their infidelity to political plan to be president of Nigeria, irrespective of where the zoning is. He has just put his interest above the interest of the country, consistently since 1993. He has disrespected his constitution of his party. He has always swung his argument to any side so long as he favors he's getting a ticket to run for president. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, in contrast, has always respected the zoning formula, has watched the political space carefully. Even when he had all the opportunity to pick presidential tickets, he was virtually the leader of the ACN to pick presidential ticket. He refused. He kept giving it to people who he felt were entitled to run as president at that time. That is an exceptional quality. He gave it to Ribado to run. He gave it to, other Northerners to run. And even Atiku Abubakar himself, he gave tickets to him to run because he felt it was not his turn. He wanted, and that is the real unifier. So his record as a Democrat is unparalleled. We are not even talking of the history of his democratic struggles, of which I was part of. I was officially the lawyer put in charge of NADECO by Chief Ganifa Emi. So I did all the NADECO cases. Chief Anthony Nahoro, Alfred Rwani, Ademola, of the former chairman of Lagos Island, all of those cases. I did the NADECO cases in Ganifa Emi's chambers. So I know the history of that. I was part of that struggle. We were arrested, we were detained on account of June 12th. And we know our leaders then in NADECO, one of which was Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. So apart from those democratic records, when he now came to governance, and his records in Lagos State are unrivaled in the history of governance in Lagos. He was the 12th governor of Lagos State. And we have often repeated over and over the achievements of Lagos State. Are we going to start talking about all of the institutions he had to set up to deal with specific problems of Lagos State, the traffic situation in Lagos State, the rubbish, the heaps of debt in Lagos State, the transportation situation in Lagos State, and of course the turbulent Bar Beach in Lagos State, all of the efforts he made, and how Lagos has moved from one of the dirtiest cities in the world to one of the leading and fifth, largest economy in Africa. Are we going to say all of that? What are the records of these other people? Even in private business, people are saying that some people tout themselves as, oh, they were business, they have always known how to manage businesses.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Struggling with energetic kids and you can't get them to get to sleep? Tried so many things to get them to snooze, but nothing seems to work. ShopX TV is proud to introduce an amazing gift for the kids. Introducing Happy Nappers.
They are happy, happy nappers. They love to sleep and play with you.
The perfect play pillows that pull open to a sleepy sack surprise. Who are the happiest nappers of all? Happy Nappers! They are more than just play pillows. They are comfy sleep sacks that keep your kids warm and wrapped safely. With a simple pull and zip, your child can snuggle up and nap inside of it. Imagine children that actually want to take a nap. They are your go-anywhere friends. They play with you all day. Time is happy napper time, and when the napping is done, they fold back in for even more fun. Ordinary play pillows or blankets are not as much fun, and they don't hold the heat in, unlike Happy Nappers. And the sleep sacks are completely enclosed to keep your child warm and cozy during nap time or even through the night.
Toluwani absolutely loves her Happy Nappers kitty cat. It's pink, girly, and fluffy. Everything that she loves. Well, I love it because it's a 2-in-1. She can play with it all day, and when she's tired, she can take a nap in it.
Sultana loves his Happy Nappers Grey Shark. He loves playing with it and has real adventures with the shark. It's been really hard for him to sleep recently, but thanks to his Happy Nappers Shark, he finds it so easy to sleep all through the night. And to be honest, simply easier for me too as well.
Happy Nappers is now available in Nigeria exclusively from ShopX TV. You can choose from pink cat, grey shark, white unicorn, and even a pink unicorn. Don't forget, Happy Nappers comes with the ShopX TV's 30-day money-back guarantee. Happy Nappers are a great gift for any child and come in medium and large sizes. Why not put some fun into your child's Christmas and get the ShopX Medium Happy Napper for 49,950 Naira and the Large Happy Napper for 69,950 Naira only. Call the number on your screen now or visit our website at www.shopxtv.com to order yours now. And that's not all. If you order now, we will deliver to your door with no delivery charge. But hurry, limited stock available, so call now while stock lasts.
The preceding was a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello and welcome to Lagos Parliament. I am Abimbola Adebi. The chairman of the Lagos Assembly Committee on Transportation has said that trains in the Red Line corridor of the state's rail mass transit will move more than 400,000 passengers daily. The committee chairman said this during an on-site visit to the train stations within Ifako-Ijaiye, Agege and Yaba axis.
The Lagos State House of Assembly Committee on Transportation kicked off its on-the-spot assessment of the 37-kilometer red line of the Lagos Rail Mass Transit project from Ifako-Ijaiye to other parts of the Iju area of the state. From their findings, the lawmakers seemed satisfied with the level of work done. The inspection team proceeded to Onyigbo, where the trains were parked.
In its assessment, the committee chairman, Temitope Adewale, said the Red Line project is expected to move about 500,000 passengers daily upon completion. This amounts to about 3.5 million passengers weekly and 15 million in a month.
The Lagos State Transport Master Plan has indicated that there is the need for us to inculcate and to increase passenger riders from using mass transit, and from what the government has been interested in is to increase the usage of the mass transit to make it attractive and more secure. I think this would help to move at least about 5 million Lagosians, I think on a monthly basis or daily basis, according to what Lamata has said. It will increase the ridership in the state and also reduce heavy traffic that we see, where more cars will be left at home to go on the rail services. There are no traffics on the rail services, and people would have to leave their personal vehicles to go on the rail, and then ease of traffic on our roads will be reduced. It will increase the passenger rider on our lines, and especially using the bus services and then the rail services. Yes, I think it will have a great tool or effect on life on the people, and it will, like I said, it will ease the journey from point A to point B as it's were.
Oh, definitely, this one will have positive impact on them, on the life of Lagosians. So they also help the government, and I must say it without minusing words, for this very magnificent work to continue. So our government should also continue, so that there will be continuity.
The massive rail line project, which runs from Agbado to Oyingbo with 8 stations, is targeted at reducing travel time in the city by 2 hours.
From what we've seen so far, it's approaching completion. The Iju station is about 80% done. We've been to Agege station as well, which is about 5% done. We went to Ikeja station. Now we've been to the Yaba station. Now we're at the Oyingbo, where the Red Line rail service, the rolling stocks have arrived, and contrary to what we've been hearing, that the trains are not here, the trains are here. As you can see behind us, we have the train. So level of completion, I believe Mr. Governor, like he has said, would commission before the end of the year and before the first quarter of next year. So I'm believing that the possibility is true, and it's positive. I think it will be completed. I haven't spoken to some of the contractors. They were assuring us that before the end of the first 2 months, and by February, they would have been done with all infrastructural facilities, and we'll prepare for the rolling stocks to go on the rail.
On Wednesday, the state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, inaugurated the completion of the first phase of the Blue Line from Marina to Mile 2. The lawmakers are hopeful that the Red Line corridor of the state rail mass transit will be completed and inaugurated before the end of the year. And the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly last weekend congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari on his 80th birthday, describing him as a leader who remains focused on strengthening democracy in Nigeria. The Speaker, in a statement issued by his Chief Press Secretary, says Buhari's maturity, wisdom and determination to ensure Nigeria stands a united country remains a mark of his leadership capacity. He commended the president for ensuring his administration's success in infrastructure renewal and development in the station. Obasa says history will always remember his efforts to build a stronger and more secure Nigeria through the fight against insurgency, infrastructural development, and other social investment schemes.
It started as a daily training program in some parts of Lagos. Empowerment skills can be acquired in some places, but for a fee, which don't come cheap many times. But here at this training institute, Musumola, like some of her peers, took up these skills for free. It is an initiative of the lawmaker representing Etiosa Constituency in the State House of Assembly, Bolaho Ishao. Some of them traveled miles from other communities to benefit from the program. Their dedication to training is a demonstration of their determination to begin to earn a living and provide support to their families.
I'm selling both snacks and drinks at the same time, so I know what I'm gaining now more than before. I'm gaining like 3 times what I'm gaining before, and I'm having customer here and there. Our normal naming ceremony, if they are having something, they'll just say, since do snacks for us. You can do pop-off, burial, all those things, so we can use that to support our business. From there, it's a gradual process. They'll get to know us better. We'll get to do our stickers, and by the grace of God, whatever he has impacted in us, he will not go in vain.
For Honorable to do that kind of training in this our environment and close to the people, that they don't need to pay transport, it was very, very good. Like one of the cake there is even one of the students that even made that cake. I was there yesterday when she did the cake. So they should just be continue to doing it every day. And in fact, when we are in class, some of them have started doing it already. Anything you learn, they do the next day to sell at home.
After months of training in fashion design and other vocational skills, it's now time to start their own businesses. Here are the lucky 500 graduates of the various training programs being celebrated and given startup funds for their businesses.
After our training, some people, because I bake cake, so the people that tasted it, so they be calling me for the cake that's come and bake for my birthday, bake for me on my birthday. So I've been baking for people outside and I've been getting money.
I learned about straw toys because there's a salon opposite my house. They make use of these straw to do it. But in my class, is this take home? So I was so happy. The first day they introduced it to us, I got home, I was like, yesterday they come. She was like, what happened? I said, I know how to do it now. She said, how? I said, let me teach you. She said that. I said, don't worry. I have relaxer. That was how I brought that relaxer.
In the knitting department, they basically teach us how to knit. So I learned how to knit caps, socks, cardigans, the very much basics of how to knit. And from there, I can move on into every other aspect that I want to thrive in. My school really doesn't give me much stress. And even if I don't want to do it during school days, when I come for holidays, I'll use that as a means to get some income before I go back to school again. Well, I am saying a very big thank you because before now I've been trying to learn online and it's really stressful because you don't get the basics very much well. So I'm saying thank you to him for giving me this opportunity to learn. Like, I'm very, very happy for that opportunity and I pray God blesses him.
So we created this program specifically for our community. So we have 7 programs that we took them on: catering, fashion, design, and so on and so forth. And it's been good because, like, you see all of them in there, they're happy, they're now skilled. There's the old saying, teach me how to fish, not give me fish. So that's what we've done to them. And I'm sure they'll be able to make a living for themselves from this program that they've achieved. Then we also did a startup, also the best 3 students in each field, we gave them tools of trade to start up with. So they got what they need to start up with and they can start the business tomorrow. We do programs to ensure we enrich people's lives, we empower them to be able to fend for themselves, and we educate them to ensure that they acquire better skills and earn more. It's all about how you can fend for your family, you understand? When people say the environment is harsh, that means they can't fend for their family. When they say environment is comfortable, it means they can fend for their family. So all we do is support government, support our community to ensure that we bring succor to homes by empowering them, equipping them with skills that can ensure that they earn more in this present day.
For Bolaho Ishao, initiatives like this will reduce their level of dependency
discourage them from social vices, and engage them actively for meaningful socio-economic development. It's that time of the year when lawmakers gather to thank God for His goodness towards the legislature in the last 12 months. It's the annual Thanksgiving service and end-of-the-year party of the legislature. This time it's the 20th anniversary.
Our Speaker, my Speaker, Mr. Impeccable, Immaculate, a unifier, a campaigner, a promoter, a crusader, a trailblazer, an icon, infallible, a captain, a commander, a pace-setter, above all, my own father. And I pray that the Almighty God will continue to guide and assist you. I must also commend you for the massive beautification going on and infrastructure development going on in the Lagos State House of Assembly complex, and the expansion of the place of worship to make it more comfortable and conducive for worship, as well as the installation of the world-class instrument for the usage of the chapel. It is in our prayers that the God Almighty will continue to bless you and your entire family and grant you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to steer the ship of the house to greater heights.
Singing and dancing to melodious songs, the lawmakers were joined by the Lagos State Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu and other dignitaries. Looking back at the successes recorded in the outgoing year, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu thanked the leadership of the House for its support, which has aided the gains realized in the year.
We need to continue to thank God for how far He has brought us. Not a lot of how far we're going to, but how far He has brought us. Mr. Speaker, the Right Honorable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Dr. Ajayi Mudashiru Obasa, I want to congratulate you once more. I want to acknowledge you publicly and thank you for your leadership of the other 39 men and women that you are leading. I want to say that indeed the Lagos State Executive is happy with you. We're happy for your leadership, and indeed you continue to reflect the true partnership and the team-spaying spirit for which Lagos is known.
We have started already for joining the trade.
It was also a good time to talk about the credibility of the APC presidential candidate in the 2023 elections. For Sanwo-Olu and the Speaker of the House, the stability and growth that Lagos enjoys today is only possible owing to the foundation that was laid by Bola Tinubu.
I welcome everyone to the 20th edition of outreach program of this House of Assembly. As it is our custom, today marks not just one of the many days set aside to appreciate the goodness of God in our lives, but also the 20th we have had of our dear Lagos. And now it has evolved since 2023, since 2003. We today celebrate the success achieved by the state, but we have Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, who sacrificed and created the direction for development and progress, build the foundation and begun the structure upon which successive administrations have built.
Let me once again express my appreciation to the Speaker, to the Deputy Speaker, to the leadership of the House, and to all the members for your cooperation, your unwavering support in our collective journey to birth a greater Lagos for the benefit of Lagosians, a Lagos that is rising, a Lagos that will be a proud Lagos for each and every one of us.
I'm talking about the power of thanksgiving.
In his sermon, Pastor Bolaji Idowu of Harvesters International Christian Center spoke on the importance of the event, which is to show gratitude to God for His mercies in the year 2022.
God Himself showed that mercy.
One of the powerful things God's mercy does is this. God's mercy makes you his choice amongst other people. You have current challenges today, but it's only because you have legs you think of wearing shoes. If there are no legs, you will not know you don't have shoes. So the problems you have today is even because you are blessed. To the giver of all things, the one that's brought us this far, we're extremely grateful. We can say that we are the people, the Lord.
For the legislative arm, it's been a great year for the state. More than 300 indigent people in Ojo local government area of Lagos have benefited from an empowerment program organized by the lawmaker representing the area at the State House of Assembly. We have details in this report. This is not the first time that the lawmaker representing Ojo Constituency 1 at the Lagos State House of Assembly, Victor Akonde, will be giving out poverty alleviation items to his constituents. This is, however, a unique one, as it is coming at this special time of the year. Hundreds of residents of the community trooped out to the Ojo Multipurpose Hall, venue of the event, excited to catch a glimpse of the items that were about to be distributed. Some of the items include sewing and grinding machines, shoemaking equipment, power generating sets, pumping machines, among others. For Akonde, unity to thank them at the Legislative House.
You see, it's not about giving them money alone or giving them something during the Christmas. It's about empowering them so that they can actually fight their poverty. And this is a sign of fighting poverty. And by the grace of God, most of them, about 300 of them that is being empowered today, they will use it for a better thing. We have cash, 200,000, 50,000, 100,000, and we have 30,000. We have sewing machine, we have a sewing machine, we have a grinding machine, we have popcorn machine, we have a clipper and generator. I want to try to see what I can do for me to alleviate the level within my constituents. So this is not about me alone. People put me there to go and represent them. And the best thing is to find a way to make sure that they too, they enjoy the benefit of democracy. Empowerment is key. Go to the downtrodden and empower them. Give them soft loan to start businesses. And they will try. Some of these people have been trained. And once they have the training, the only thing to do is to empower them. Some of them that doesn't have any knowledge, that's why we bring the popcorn machine. They can stay in front of their houses and do the popcorn and start selling to students. And it will generate money.
As an educationist, Victor Akonde has in the last 7 years initiated various education programs targeted at helping indigent children and youths in the area. He has set up various interventions for widows and the elderly across his constituency. The lawmaker has also sponsored many bills and facilitated major developmental projects in his community.
I will tell him thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it very well. God will bless him more abundance. It's going to help me to start business so that I can be a big person. I will be on my own than to be staying idle, not be doing anything.
It's going to help me sort a lot of bills. It's going to help me sort a lot of bills, literally, because I was not expecting it. I was not expecting something huge, but I can't thank him enough. I'll just tell him thank you, and God will continue to bless him for us.
I was just called upon, and you know, as a party member, I was called upon and told that, okay, I've been selected for, you know, as a beneficiary for Honorable Victor Akonde's beneficiary program, and here I am today. It's God. It's just favor from God, and you know, being dedicated to the party, and I would just say it's God generally, because if not for God, I don't think I would have benefited from this at all. There are so many people, out of so many people from the constituency, and I was being picked out. It's just God himself.
We have been looking for over this thing. We have already promised us he's going to empower us. This is the right time for it, that he empower us. We are happy over it.
He has served in different capacities in the Lagos Parliament, and he is currently the chairman of the House Committee on Judiciary and the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, LASIEC. The people of Ojo Constituency 1 of Lagos are today celebrating major transformation in their community for more than 7 years. And this is the lawmaker's humble way to show gratitude to the people who gave him the mandate to serve in the parliament 7 years ago. Traditional rulers and party leaders could not hold back their joy as they prayed for the lawmaker.
It's the season of celebrations. It's Yuletide, and we say season's greetings from the lawmakers.
I want to wish Lagosians and residents compliment of the season, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. I want to wish our leaders, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the great leaders of our party, and all the GACs in Lagos State, the governor, the deputy, the cabinet members, Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi Obasha, and the 39 members. Compliment of the season, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Hello everyone, my name is Desmond Olushola Elliott, and on behalf